going on YouTube? It is Repulse, back in another video. In today's video, we have our Club World Cup predictions. As you can see here, we're on the FIFA website. We have every single team in the Club World Cup, and I'm going to predict how I think it's going to play out um, with every single group, and then it also has the knockout stages in it. To begin, we're going to start by letter. We're going to go A to B to C, so on and so forth. Um, so to begin with Group A, I want to put Porto in the one spot. I think that might be a lock. Actually, nope. We're gonna redo that. I'm gonna favor Esteval's Palmeiras at the one spot, and then I'm gonna put Porto at the two. Um, I think Palmeiras are gonna get a surprise result. I think they can draw to Porto and then win the next two games. And Porto also draw and win the next two games, and Palmeiras does a goal difference thing or something like that. I think this is gonna be one of the closest groups. Because I think Porto is one of the worst European teams in this competition. Obviously, they're still a very good side. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm saying Porto's a very bad team. No, I don't think so at all. I think they're a very good team. I just think out of the European sides, you have giants like PSG, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, who obviously not as good as usual, but still a massive club with a lot better talent, in my opinion, than Porto. Um, You have the likes of Atletico Madrid, Dortmund. Oh, Inter Milan's also a giant. Didn't even forget about that. But I was wrong. Porto is not the worst European side at this competition. It's probably Salzburg. The Austrian league just doesn't have as much money as the Portuguese league, because Benfica and Porto are both here, which I think sets Sporting back a lot, actually. Um, but yeah, I think Palmeiras and Porto probably end up around similar points. I think Palmeiras can top the group, and I think that's one of the surprising results. Um, and I think that um, Al Ali finished third, and Inter Miami finished fourth. Inter Miami just aren't that good of a side, to be honest. I'm in America. I watch the MLS a decent amount, just because there's really nothing else on. Um, yeah, Inter Miami just aren't that great. Al Ali are a very good African side. Um, So yeah, I feel confident that Al Ali can do something in this tournament, and they could even make it out the group stages. Um, because they're a very good side. Um, yeah, they play in the Egyptian league. They're like, I don't know how many times they've won the uh I don't know what the African Champions League is, but the African Champions League, them and S Tunis are pretty much the giants in Africa. So they're a very good side. I can see them honestly making it out the group stages, to be honest, but I think Palmeiras and Porto do end up making it out. Inter Miami, again, just not that good of a side, so I don't really see them making it anywhere above fourth. Moving on to Group B, I think this is pretty straightforward. Um, you could move Botafogo and Seattle Sounders, but I just don't think the MLS are really all that great. I know there's a good amount of MLS teams in here, but I just don't think they're to the levels of a Brazilian Botafogo. And obviously, the Brazilian league is not up to the level of an Atletico Madrid, who are a massive European club, really, really good team. Diego Simeone is one of the best managers in the world, and then PSG, you can't really count them out. I mean, they just won the Champions League in the biggest result ever, 5-0. Um, so yeah, I expect PSG to get through pretty easily. I think they win all three games, maybe draw to Atletico Madrid. But I think these two make it out pretty comfortably in that group. So that would mean PSG plays Porto, Palmeiras plays Atletico. Moving on to Group C, I'm actually going to have a shock result here. I'm going to have Bayern at the one. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. But then Boca Juniors, then Benfica, then Auckland City, who are not going to win a game. Sorry to tell them. Um, but yeah, I think Boca Juniors are going to have a massive fan base come out. Um, I think they're a decent side too. I think they can do something. As one of the North or South American sides, sorry, in this competition. I think Bayern Munich win all three games pretty handily. And I think this is really a competition. I think they could end up on the same points as well. I think they might both end up with 4 points. I think they beat Auckland City, draw against each other, lose to Bayern Munich. So I think it might just be whoever wins against Auckland City by the most goals and loses against Bayern Munich by the less or least amount of margins. Um, But yeah, that's one of the biggest toss-ups I think I have in this competition. Is who I think is going to qualify between Boca Juniors and Benfica. Um, yeah, I think Benfica are a great side. Obviously, a massive European club. Um, Boca Juniors one of the best South American clubs. Win the Copa Libertadores pretty easily sometimes. Um, yeah, I think just a really good team out in Argentina. Um, so yeah, I'm happy to put them through. I like to put a little bit of upsets into my bracket, even if they don't seem that plausible. But I think Boca Juniors is one of the most plausible results. Um, and then moving on to Group D. um, I'm gonna put Chelsea at the one. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I think we should make it out the group stages pretty easily. As you can tell by my channel, I am a big Chelsea fan. I try to upload news videos about them when there's a lot of news to post. Obviously, not a lot because the deadline's closed, but you know, big Chelsea fan. I go into the games. I hope they finish the group stages first. Our first game's on Monday. Uh, it was supposed to be against Club Leon, but now it's against LAFC. Um, but in the two spot, I just talked about Al Ali being one of the biggest African sides. I'm actually going to go with S Tunis uh, in Africa as well, the second biggest African club behind Al Ali, in my opinion. To finish in second, and then I'm going to go Flamengo and then LAFC. Um, honestly, these three are toss ups. It could go something like this, it could really go something like this as well. Um, but yeah, for this, I'm really between these two. And I think I'm gonna do Tunis to go through. Actually, no, I'm gonna go Flamingo. I'll go Flamingo to go through. Um, I think it's really a toss up between these two, but I could see LAFC make it through. I just don't really think so for now. Um, but yeah, I think Flamingo may just edge it the more I think about it. Um, have some experience on their side, have some previous European players that are older now but still on their side. So yeah, I think this is one of the most competitive groups from second to third and fourth. I think any of these three can really make it through. Um, but I think Chelsea pretty much win every single game pretty handily. I think they should dominate these teams. Um, which you never know with Chelsea, to be honest. But that's just what I have for Group D. It could really go anyway. Um, if someone wanted to put Tunis through, I wouldn't blame them. If someone wanted to put LAFC through, I think that's the biggest argument to put them through, to be honest. But I wouldn't really see anyone oppose that too heavily. But moving on to Group D or Group E, sorry, which is one of the most uh, controversial groups. Obviously, you put Milan first, but do you think River Plate go through? Do you think UR Red Diamonds go through? I'm gonna put River Plate through. I like the South American clubs. Um, I think Monterrey are a good side. And it could go something like this. This is another one of those Group Ds where any of these three clubs could really make it through, and you can't really argue with it. Um, it is in North America, so you could see Monterrey have just a ton of fans there. Um, really push them through. But for this, I'm just gonna go. Uh, excuse me, it's 1:50 in the morning. I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm gonna go with the team that I believe has the most ability. And I think that is River Plate, to be honest. So yeah, I'm gonna go Inter Milan. Obviously, I think win every game pretty handily. I want to see how their new manager plays. To be honest, I think that's gonna be an intriguing thing. Um, because obviously Simeone Inzaghi is at Al Hilal, who we will get to in a little bit. But yeah, I want to see how they play. I want to see how they line up. But I do expect them to go out this group pretty handily. The European sides just have a massive advantage here. The only team that I don't, or I guess the two Portuguese sides, I might just not favor Portugal or something. I don't know. Um, the two Portuguese sides I don't have going through as top, and then obviously Atletico can't because there's a European team going through. On the Group F, I am actually going to put a shock in here too. I'm gonna put Fluminense, then Dortmund, and then I think Sundowns over Olsen. Um, Sundowns another big African side. Um, and then I think Fluminense, really good team. Maybe some Thiago Silva bias there, but I think they can top Dortmund in this. And I'm also just not too big of a fan of Dortmund right now because Jamie Vino Gittins saga. But I do think there's going to be some shock results here. I think there's some teams that are going to qualify comfortably. Um, like a Dortmund, I think they still qualify comfortably. I think they beat these two teams pretty handily, and then maybe just like bench against Fluminense, and that's how it happens. Yeah, I think that uh, Fluminense go top. I'm just trying to provide some upsets in here, to be honest. I'm not trying to go favor the European teams, even though it's really hard not to. Um, but moving on to Group G, I think it's pretty easy. Man City, um, to Juve, and then you have Wydad or Al Ain. I think it's just whoever wins between these two go above each other. Um, which is pretty hard to predict. You can't really say. You could go Wydad. I'm gonna just do that. Why not? Um, but I think these two qualify pretty comfortably. All they really have to do is beat Wydad and Al Ain, and they're through. And then the game against each other, probably rest their players, draw, experiment a little bit. Um, but yeah, I think Man City and Juve qualify pretty comfortably out this group. Moving on to Group H, I am going to go Real Madrid, Al Hilal, and then I'm gonna go uh, Pachuca in Mexico over Salzburg. Um, just again another shock result. Maybe Pachuca uh, provides some upset. Maybe they qualify above Al Hilal, but that's the way I see it. So if we go to the knockouts, we have Palmeiras against Atletico Madrid. We have Bayern against Fluminense. We have Inter Milan versus Dortmund. We have Man City versus Al Hilal. We have PSG versus Porto. Chelsea against Boca Juniors. Fluminense against River Plate. Madrid against Juve. I'm gonna go with Madrid and Fluminense in the first one. I think Fluminense have a little bit more quality than River Plate, and I think if they're able to top their group, that gives them a really favorable matchup against River Plate here. Instead of playing Inter Milan, if we go back to groups, we can see that um, if I had it like this, then Fluminense would have played Inter Milan. But that wasn't the case. Fluminense stay here at that top spot, play River Plate, and I think go on to play Real Madrid. This one, I think, pretty self-explanatory. PSG and Chelsea. I think Chelsea just have too much quality for Boca Juniors, who qualify over Benfica in the group stages, but their round of 16 is cut, or their Club World Cup is cut in the round of 16. I think PSG just also have too much quality for Porto, and I think that makes an exciting midfield matchup between PSG and Chelsea uh, in the quarterfinals. Um, over here we have I think Inter Milan topping Borussia Dortmund, and then Man City with all their new players topping Al Hilal. Simeone Inzaghi's new Al Hilal, to be honest, which I think can put up a fight in this tournament. I wouldn't be surprised if it's something like that. Um, but I think Man City really put some resources in to compete in this Club World Cup, so I have them going through. Um, Other than that, I have Bayern going through, and then you know what? Two Brazilian sides go through. I'm putting Palmeiras to beat Atletico Madrid. Why not? Let's see how they do in this tournament. I really have high hopes for them. I think they're a really good Brazilian side. Um, I can't recall if they won the league or not. I can look it up right here and have it up for y'all in 2 seconds. Um, 2024, I believe. Botafogo beat Palmeiras in the league by 6 points last season with Flamengo in third. Right now, it's pretty much a open race. Only 11 games into the season, Palmeiras are 2 points behind Flamengo. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's Esteval that I'm hopeful for. Um, Obviously one of the Chelsea talents that everyone's excited for. But you know what? I want to put a shock result in there, and I think Palmeiras are a team that can do that. Because I think they have players that can give them that wow moment. But I think their run does get cut short against Bayern Munich. And I think Man City do beat the new. Actually, I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna do Borussia Dortmund over Inter Milan, just because I don't really know how to predict Inter Milan right now. Um, I just think they're going under a lot of change, especially with managers, change in tactic. It's going to be a brand new tactic throughout the Club World Cup. Hopefully, they find it out in the group stages. That's where I expect them to experiment a little bit. But due to their unpredictability, I'm going to go with Dortmund. We know they have that five at the back system. I think if they can nick a goal off Inter Milan, they can just sit back with that five at the back system and really just uh, really just push forward into the competition, but obviously get cut short against Man City in the next round, which puts an intriguing matchup against Guardiola's former team in Bayern Munich. Um, yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna predict that one. I guess Company also uh playing against or managing against his former team that he played for in Man City in the semifinals. Over here, I think Real Madrid win pretty handily, and then everything in me wants to pick Chelsea. I know it's not smart, but do I just do it and say why not? I don't know if I can. I really don't. Everything in me wants to. Everything in me is telling me that, oh, Caicedo's going to boss the midfield. Oh, Enzo's going to score a goal. Oh, Cole Palmer is going to do his thing. Um, but we have Madueke and Neto. Hopefully, when the window reopens in 3 days, that we're able to get Gittins through the door for the knockouts. Jeez, sorry. Yeah, hopefully we're able to get Gittins in for the knockouts or another winger in for the knockouts. Because I mean, I like Madueke, I like Neto as players, but I don't know if they're really gonna help us beat PSG. Um, but you know what I'm banking on? Liam Delap shining. Liam Delap brace against PSG. Cole Palmer goal. We win 3-2. Into the semifinals we go. Sure, why not? This is my predictions at the end of the day. I can do whatever I want to, and whatever I want to consists of Chelsea making far into the tournament. Um, to MetLife Stadium we go in New Jersey. Um, and you know what? Madrid played at MetLife Stadium the game before, so Chelsea win that one. Because guess what? For all you football fans, European football fans who don't know how bad MetLife Stadium is, whoo, you're in for a treat. When I mean you're in for a treat, the turf there is awful. The amount of injuries in the NFL that happen at MetLife Stadium is shambolic. Saquon Barkley, the leading rusher for the Eagles, was riddled with injuries when he played for the Giants because of that turf. There have been so many injuries on that field. It is an awful stadium. It is an awful field. I I don't know why they're playing there. Hopefully they change it to grass for the Club World Cup because that turf is outdated. It's shambolic. It's horrible. Hard Rock Stadium, you'll get off at. It's Florida. I believe it's a grass field. Orlando as well. Um, Philly artificial turf, um, which is where Chelsea have their group stage game. So I'm hoping there's no ACLs there. Mercedes Benz also artificial turf, but it's a really nice field actually. And I think they can roll out grass. But MetLife Stadium is just awful. And when I mean awful, it's horrible to play on. NFL players rated it like the worst stadium to play on. So you know what? Madrid injury ridden after this game. Play Chelsea, still injury ridden. Chelsea win that one. Why not? I think Chelsea have a better midfield than Real Madrid. Call me crazy, but Palmer, Caicedo, and Enzo Fernandez are about to show the world levels in this tournament. I think, because it's the first time they're able to do it on a global stage for the club. Obviously, Enzo Fernandez was at Benfica. Palmer didn't really get into the to any team before Chelsea. Was through the Man City Academy, and then Caicedo was um at Brighton. So first time on the global stage, they show their levels, and they get to play the new Man City in the final. Um, and we win. You know what? Why not? I think Man City beat Bayern just because I think Pep is gonna really coach them through this tournament. I think Holland's gonna look good. Obviously, losing KDB is a massive loss, but I think Cherokee's a great player. I think Tiani Randers great player. Uh, you have Marcus Bettinelli. You have the charisma in the locker room now. Obviously, you have that glue in Marcus Bettinelli. In the locker room, in the changing room, great guy to have. Who else did they sign? There was one more. Oh, Ryan Ait Nori, really good left back. You can finally move Gavardio back to the center back position, which I think we've all been waiting for. Um, I don't know who you're gonna play at right back though, because I don't really like Rico Lewis that much as a player. Um, but I think Bayern's main threat is down that right hand side with Elise and Musiala. Um, so yeah, I think Man City get through. I think Chelsea bust the midfield against Madrid, pull off a shocker result. Hopefully, I don't know. I'm just throwing something out there. And we make the final, and we beat Man City, who we haven't beaten years, but the last time we beat them was in the UCL final. So if we know how to beat Man City, it's we know how to beat them in a final. So you know what? We're bringing home the Club World Cup. We're getting that badge on our jersey. Um, sure. You know what? We bossed the midfield throughout the entire tournament. Um, Santos Latvia, Enzo Caicedo, unstoppable throughout the entire tournament. Asugo probably gets a red card in his first game, but you know what? Whatever. Um, this is my official tournament. If we go back to the group stages, we have Palmeiras, Porto, Al Ahly, Inter Milan, meaning Palmeiras plays Atletico Madrid, Porto play PSG. As PSG top their group, Atletico Madrid comes second, Botafogo and Seattle Sounders come third and fourth. Group C to Group D, we have Bayern Munich playing Flamengo, Chelsea playing Boca Juniors, with Benfica, shock not qualifying, and Auckland City not qualifying. And in Group D, we have Tunis, maybe a shock not qualifying to some. Um, in third and LAFC in fourth. I think this is really one of these toss-up groups, bar Chelsea. In Group E in Group E and F we have Inter Milan playing Borussia Dortmund and Fluminense playing River Plate. Fluminense with a shock result getting top of the group. Um, and Monterrey and Uara Red Diamonds missing out on third and fourth spots, but I think this is another toss-up group bar Inter Milan. I think this is the most D and E are the most similar groups to each other. In Group F, Fluminense shock result, Borussia Dortmund, and then Sundowns in Africa and Olsen in fourth. I think it could easily be the other way around, but you know what? I'm just here for the fun of it. Fluminense. Um, in G and H we have Man City playing Al Hilal, and then Real Madrid playing Juventus. And then Wydad and Al Ain. I think this is pretty much the most straightforward group in terms of the two teams qualifying. In Group H, Real Madrid and Al Hilal, I think, are pretty straightforward to be honest. But I could see Salzburg and Pachuca, uh, or Pachuca. Sorry, I've been pronouncing it wrong the whole time. Yeah, I think uh, Pachuca and Salzburg could put up a fight against Al Hilal. But I think Real Madrid topped this group pretty comfortably. Is it gonna make me? Okay, it's not gonna make me. In the round of 16, we have Palmeiras, shock result against Atletico Madrid. Bayern beating Fluminense. Dortmund beaten Inter Milan due to the new manager. Man City beaten Al Hilal just in terms of new quality and new talent. Um, PSG beaten Porto in terms of quality, as well as Chelsea beaten Boca Juniors. Fluminense beaten River Point, or River Plate, not River Point. Sorry. Yeah, Fluminense beaten River Plate, and then Real Madrid beating Juve due to quality, which is the reason why Madrid make the semifinals. Chelsea, I'm just throwing out some prayers there. I think Palmeiras run comes to an end, and then Man City beat Borussia Dortmund. City beat Bayern. Chelsea beat Madrid. Chelsea win it all. So yeah, that concludes my Club World Cup predictions. Obviously, I don't. I'm not certain that Chelsea are going to win it all. I think it's like a 10% chance that we really do. But you know what? I'm in that 10% that say, why not pick them? Um, everyone's against this. Might as well put them in. But yeah, I do hope you enjoyed this video. I'll definitely have a news video tomorrow out for y'all for Chelsea. Um, because I think there will be enough news to do a 2-day roundup. Obviously, the new away kits are out, so I will be able to show y'all everything. I guess later today since it's already 2 in the morning. But yeah, that's everything. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, it is Repulse, and I'm out. Peace.